What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Profit Desk. I'm Dexter.
And I'm Daniel.
We appreciate you continuing to rock with us. This is episode 3, and today we're going to be talking about should your family support your dreams?
Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
It was a hot topic when we discussed it on Facebook, so we figured we'd bring it to y'all on the live show today. Of course, we're going to cover current events first. So yeah, we'll get right into it. Let's see if we got anybody here first. Dylan, what's up, Dylan? What's going on, brother?
Hey Dylan, how you doing, man?
Glad to have you, man. That is awesome. Appreciate you supporting, bro. All right. Uh, we are going to start with our fellows, our friends over at Zillow. I'm actually going to bring it up here because I thought this was interesting.
What
Zillow,
what they doing now?
Zillow is back at it, man. Zillow is on the rise.
Hmm.
Let me see. Yeah, man. Zillow's doing well. They actually are up like 10%. So as soon as I get the chance here, I'm going to share this for you. So far, there we go. All right, where you at, Chrome? All right, let me open this in Chrome here. That'll be better. All right, so Market Watch says that Zillow's stock has rebounded over the weekend, and everybody missed it because it happened overnight. Says they're selling houses faster than expected, um, and the company is spending 750 million on buying back shares. All right, with cash reserves that it built up. All right, 750 million. So I mean, they got a little bit of a bounce. They lost over 60%. Actually, a little bit, just under 60%, about 56% in the sell-off.
Hmm.
Um, but they're up 10+% right now. So what do you think? You think they're going to climb back? Huh? What do you think the response is going to be?
Uh, yeah, I think they're gonna climb back. It may be because they still have to sell off um, the rest of this inventory that they had. Does it say anything about the 400 contracts that they canceled?
It does not mention the 400 contracts to cancel. That's actually been pretty quiet.
Yeah, of course not.
Um, of course, I'm actually gonna see if I can bring up the article here because that is huge. They kind of kept that quiet. And this article made the major news, but let me put it on the screen here. Yeah. So we're gonna stop the screen share. We're gonna go to our other screen. So Zillow, at the same time, is also quietly canceling 400 contracts due to closing restraints. Um, my assumption is that we're gonna hear about some lawsuits coming from this later on. Hey
Yeah, most
Brian, what's up,
definitely.
brother? Uh, but yeah, so that's gonna be interesting, man. I don't know. I don't know if this will make major news or not. But as of right now, this has been kind of quiet. In the major news is the rebound, 10% plus at the moment.
Yeah, if I was the company, I would front face the progression as well, right? You never some some people say all news is good news. Not necessarily, especially when you're canceling contracts uh, due to malpractice, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah,
And then you have to think about those hundreds of sellers awaiting new builds. Where are they? In the process. Uh, did they sell their homes, and are they waiting for the new builds? What are they? You know, how far into the building process were they before they found out like, hey, this isn't going to happen? That's a major inconvenience for 400 families.
Yeah, that is huge, man. And just trying to figure out how you're gonna where you're gonna go, especially if you sold your home first. Some people,
Yeah.
I mean, we always advise against that, right? But some people do. They close early, and if they got some extra cash laying around, they'll stay in a hotel until the 30-day close.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in that type of position, that is not going to be a fun conversation. Dylan says, I wonder if they would have repercussions from canceling any of their contracts, or were they locked up in a way that allowed them to walk away at any time? That's the big question, right, Dylan? I don't know. There wasn't any discussion about it in the article itself, but that is a good question, man. How can you a company as large as Zillow, can you sue for performance? And would that be something like a class action lawsuit?
Yeah.
Because they're kind of too big to take on individually. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. That article came out 4 days ago now. So there hasn't been enough time passed just yet to see if there's any smoke, but I'm pretty sure it's coming. Um, Moving on. What is next? I'm sorry, Daniel. Do you have anything else you want to go over for this before we switch?
Nope. Just going to see how this blows over, how they try to push it under the rug.
All right. So let's see. What do we have next? Next up, we have. This is going to be one of your favorites here because you called this last week, and I want to talk about it. Let's go back to Chrome. The LA Times has released the article, and the LA Times says that Omicron, the new variant, is already here.
Yeah.
All right, so Omicron is already here. Now I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the article. Share screen. Check this out. LA County reported the first case of the Omicron variant. All right, so that was the first case in the U.S., LA County. Since this article was published, and it was published on December 2nd, so it was published 2 days ago. Since the publication of this article, 6 additional states have reported cases of Omicron. It looks like it's starting to spread like wildfire.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we talked. Now, President Biden has stated that he will not. I report he will not be. What did he say? He doesn't believe that a lockdown is necessary. He is discussing mask mandates. He also says that he doesn't feel that he feels that the people are fatigued and that mental health is a major concern, and that another lockdown would have huge impacts. All right. So I don't know. We talked about lockdowns, but that was when we were just talking about travel bans. Now that Omicron's here on our own soil, what are your thoughts about it?
It's interesting. There are several different avenues you can look at it. Starting with the president's comments concerning mental health and people's ability to go back to what was, i.e., 2020. I don't think anybody as a whole wants to go back into that where we have a full lockdown. People have to stay home. Matter of fact, if it were to happen, right? If let's say Omicron is a little deadlier than the Delta variant, there are people out there that's going to say, "Hey, you know something? If it's time for me to go, it is what it is."
Yeah.
And then there are some people. There are some people who are going to because they have bought into or they believe through circumstances that they may not be able to control. Family, friends have been affected by it. Some people have died. Somebody close to them died from this particular uh, spread of virus. They are saying, okay, yeah, we need to go ahead and lock down. So you're going to have a little bit of both sides, right? You're going to have some who are for it, some who are against it. But I think both sides have some type of mental that that everybody's looking for some type of stability. Everybody's
Yeah.
looking for some type of mental stability. Whether you're for it or against it, you're tired,
Right.
right? Yeah. So it's going to be one of those things where, and you kind of have to look out for the companies who are making the viruses, right? Because they are going to be pushing for another push for the virus, only because it helps their bottom line, not necessarily because it makes the public safe.
Yeah, I mean, we say that all the time, right? There's no money in the cure,
Right.
right? Unless you're really going to um, raise the price on the cure. Remember that big scandal from I don't know, it must have been probably 10 years ago when the price of an EpiPen went up like 10,000%. It jumped
Mm-hmm.
from $70 to like $700 overnight.
Yeah.
That was like a huge deal, man. And when you talk about there's no money in the cure, that is what happens when you put the money in the cure.
Yeah.
Right there, you get you get you get a 10,000% increase overnight.
Right.
And I remember as a kid going to a friend's house, and everybody had an EpiPen in the drawer just in case. Everybody had one in their refrigerator, in the drawer.
Wow.
You had an EpiPen somewhere. But now it's rare, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
My daughter actually, she has a peanut allergy, right?
mhm.
But we've never had to carry an EpiPen.
Oh
O-
wow,
Only because she was very cautious about the peanuts, right?
right,
It was one of those situations where, okay, does this have peanuts? Does this have peanuts? She was very aware of that even at an early age. And that helped us manage, monitor, and mitigate that whole situation as to where she's never had to have an EpiPen at
that's good,
all.
man. That's
Yeah,
good.
man. But I know that's off topic, but yeah,
No, but that's good, man. That's rare, man. To
yeah,
have a child that's so conscious of it, that's a blessing too. That's good, man.
yeah. Well, now concerning the virus, she's the same way with the virus, right? She'll go outside, she'll mask up. Um, she'll come home and she'll report on how people were coughing and sneezing, and they weren't, because normally you're taught to cough into your elbow or something like that, right?
Right, right.
Or
Into your
cough into your
sleep.
shoulder. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And she says the teacher does not do that. And it freaks her out. She's a germaphobe anyway, so it freaks her out. And she says, "I want to change classes because he is endangering everyone's life." This is how she is normally. So it's one of those.
Okay.
It's one. It's just one of those things. But she's one of those people who want to stay home. I'm on the other end. I want to be cautious, but please don't keep me at home.
Well, I'm a Floridian,
Yeah,
and
y'all different.
yeah, between us and Texas, we're gonna do it the American way. Dylan, come on, man. Say something for the great people of Texas, man.
All right,
Oh
guys.
yeah, man.
Yeah, but this is going to be interesting to watch. Yeah, as it spreads across the U.S. and see how people, react or don't react to this particular
Yeah,
variant.
yeah. I think it's gonna be interesting. Um, now again with the president. Now this, I actually agree with him on that statement. Um, Mask mandates may be necessary again.
Hmm.
Not not that Not that we care here in the great state of Florida. Um, but mask mandates will probably be coming again. And I agree that there is a lot of mental health fatigue surrounding the subject of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, so I definitely agree with him on that statement. But I will say this: not so many people are happy with our current president, man.
You don't say.
I do say, and I know we got a show coming up that is going to discuss this in detail. You guys might as well get ready for it.
Yeah.
But Biden Biden says it's hard to sell a message when no one's listening. Let's see just how few people are actually listening to him. He is down more than 10% in just about every category. Look at that.
Yeah.
So between the ages of 18 to 29, he's down 13% on men and 12% on women. White people, black people, Latinos are double digits.
Yeah, they really don't like him.
Double digits. And I'm assuming this is Asian American Pacific Islander.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at down 6%. College students, they haven't really gotten into politics yet, still down 7%. But if these numbers continue, I don't know where we're gonna stand in 4 years, man. What do you think?
I think what number president is Biden?
46.
46.
46,
Okay.
yes.
I think if 45 runs again against 46, 45 will win.
Yeah, yeah. For 45 makes a repeat, he'll be 47.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Dylan says, yeah, major mental health issues that walk with it. And yeah, I don't see the same people that voted for him still rocking with Brian. Yeah. Yeah. I saw the kid that
Oh,
got dropped
wow.
from his online class because he wouldn't get the vaccine. Yeah, that's actually happening a lot. So, for those of you that don't know, I do real estate, but I'm also a service delivery manager for a huge Fortune 500 company that I won't say the name of. I think we're actually Fortune 100, but I still won't say the name of them. But I'm a service delivery manager, and because of that, we had to anybody that works from home that was below management had to get the vaccine, even though you work from home.
Interesting.
So yeah, very, very interesting. I thought that was very interesting. Marquise, what up? That's what you said on the ninth episode. So tonight, man, I actually have some caramel whiskey, bro. So some Tennessee caramel is what I'm sipping on tonight. I got my Tom Ford candle burning. So we got some good smells, good taste. I don't have my cigar yet, but I'm trying to get to it. Dylan says 45 is gonna win by flying colors. Yeah, that's what we think. That's what the consensus is.
Yeah.
So next on the topic of discussion, this wouldn't be the Profit Desk if we did not touch on your actual pocket. What's going on in your wallet? So
Sure.
let's take a look at what's happening with inflation at the moment. Oh man, this topic here, brother. Inflation. Let's see. We are expecting another big rip in inflation. I'm gonna share this here, copy link. All right. So we're expecting inflation to actually continue to rise.
Yeah.
I agree. Sunday Times, yada yada yada. There we go. So because of Omicron. Think about it like this: the reason that inflation is what it is a combination of reasons. First, we had number 45, our president, number 45. We had him put sanctions on everybody, right?
Right.
that kind of it didn't get the ball rolling, but it didn't help.
Yeah. Help nudge it. Yeah.
It nudged it, right?
Yeah.
And then right behind that, we kind of we got hit with a huge wave of COVID at one time, so we shut down all the borders. We had a whole bunch of cargo ships that got stuck in the middle of the ocean. I don't know if you guys remember that. They got stuck
Yes.
in the middle of nowhere, so we had major supply chain issues. And finally, when things are just starting to get back to normal and Amazon Prime is just getting back to being Amazon Prime, now Omicron is here,
Oh yeah.
and supply chain issues are going to be affected. What happens when we get supply chain issues? We have to buy made in America. And in the great country of the US, when we manufacture products, we spare no expense.
That's
We
right.
pass on the expense. That's what we do to the hardworking people of this nation. So we're getting more inflation, people. It's coming. The more supply chain issues that we have, you can almost guarantee that that we'll have to do something. Prices are going to go up on products. The new bill that just got passed, the infrastructure bill, also
Mm-hmm.
included a $2,000 stimulus payment for anybody with a salary of under, I think it was $47,000, but included a $2,000 stimulus payment. I don't know what the other restrictions are. I just know the salary increments, but it was included. Dylan says if they are home around no one and you're still forcing the vaccine, it seems a little bit like overstepping. What do you think about that, Daniel?
I would have to agree, especially if people aren't coming into the office. Um, Now, if they're just trying to cover all bases, just in case if someone comes into the office and they say, have you been vaccinated? No, then you can't come into the office. Um, I can kind of understand that, but if they spend most of their time, at home or working from home, that I would have to agree with Dylan. It's a bit of an overreach.
100%. I would agree as well. Definitely overreaching. Um, I mean, I keep talking about the great state of Florida because there's no place like home. Um, so I think it was last week, Florida had its second month of reporting the lowest numbers in the nation as far as the rate of infection for COVID is concerned. Lowest number of cases in the nation, Florida reported, and that is um, per 100 people. So, uh, and one of the things that our governor said, and I'll reserve comment about our great governor Ron DeSantis, but one of the things he said is that if you did not, if you had not mandated the vaccine, more people would be open to getting it.
Mhm.
But when you try to tell American people, a country that's built on freedom of choice, um, where we celebrate those freedoms, when you try to force something on somebody, you create a resistance that doesn't have to be there. Our
Yeah.
governor is actually vaccinated, which is crazy. He's vaccinated. He just refuses to mandate that it be done across the entire state. I think that's noble. I think that's the right thing. But I am not anti-vaccine. I think you should do what's best for yourself and what's best for your family, and I
Most
think you should
definitely.
have the freedom to do so. Um, so that's where I stand on that.
Check out what
Uh,
Dylan said.
it says no job ever mandated getting the flu shot before, did they? I don't think so. Not to my knowledge. Um, Obviously, schools do mandate vaccines for children. Um, and we're talking about um diseases that we have pretty much eradicated in this country.
Yeah.
Um, the the real issue I think that most people have with it is that even vaccinated, you're still at risk. Although the
Mhm.
risk is lower, um, you're still at risk. When you give a child the polio vaccine or you vaccinate them against smallpox or anything like that, you don't worry that he's going to go to school and still get polio.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think that's where the disconnect is. There's also not a lot of truth that comes from our government side, not a lot of transparency. So I don't know. I don't have the answers to that. I don't have a family of my own. I'll let Daniel speak on that. What do you think, brother?
I was thinking about several years ago. I think it was in the early 80s when the seatbelt came out. I'm going to be devil's advocate um, on the side of those who are anti-vax, right?
Hmm.
Um, there was pushback for the seatbelt,
Yeah, yeah,
right? There were people who were saying, like, kind of like we were saying now, you're 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 you are not allowing me to be free. But no, we're trying to keep you safe inside of your car.
right,
When you have a wreck, the numbers say that when you have a wreck, you're more likely to survive that wreck when you have a seatbelt on than when they were off. I actually remember riding in my grandfather's car without a seatbelt. It was one of those old when they made cars out of metal. I can't. It was like an old Oldsmobile, and the back seat was one full bench, and it was made of leather. And when you turned the corner, you slid from one side of the car to the next.
oh yeah,
That in itself should tell you, hey man, you might want to be locked in. I kind of compare that to the people who say you're
Mm,
you're infringing upon my rights to have the choice whether or not to be vaccinated or not. It's one of the situations where, okay, again, I'm playing devil's advocate.
mhm.
Do you get vaccinated and keep the spread of the vaccine and the spread of the virus at a minimum, or do you go out there and you know do what you want to do? Um, it's just one of those situations where I kind of see both sides of it. As far as my family is concerned, um, we probably will get our kids vaccinated after this first round because I want to see if anybody's legs falls off or
Okay.
the eyes, if they grow horns or something like that, something weird because I never go after that first round, and
Yeah.
to Dylan's point, that whole flu thing, there was some pushback with that too. The flu
Hmm.
vaccine,
Swine.
uh,
Yeah.
there,
Initially,
yeah,
influenza. Yeah.
initially, yeah, there was some pushback
Spanish
on
flu.
that, but eventually, it became the norm, which is what I'm expecting to happen with this. Eventually, getting a vaccine is going to become the norm after all the hubbub. We get through all this.
My man Marquise says, like Kanye said, "Thank God I'm not too cool for a seatbelt." And listen, I love Kanye, but Kanye is from Chicago. Here in Florida, let me tell you something. I am a country boy.
You
You
don't
hear
wear
me?
seatbelts, okay?
I never,
Okay,
never. Listen. Here's what I do. I keep a rifle in the back window,
okay.
and I keep a 40 in the console
Okay.
and a 9mm in the cup holder.
Okay.
I am wrapped in the safety, brother. That's the only safety I need.
Okay.
Here in the great state of Florida.
All right. All right. We all know that you guys are different. I'm
And I'm
on
pretty sure.
I'm on Marquise's side. I'm not too cool for a seatbelt.
I'm pretty sure Dylan has a similar setup out in the great state of Texas.
Yeah, my man said. He said, I don't know if you saw that the what he said earlier. The statement he said, as long as our guns don't have to wear masks, there won't be riots.
I love it, man. All right, we got one more topic of discussion, a small one, before we jump into the subject matter for tonight, and that is real estate companies are now switching from 30-year mortgages.
Yeah.
Shout out to the cowboy hats. Are now switching from 30-year mortgages to what are we going to 40 and 45-year
Yeah.
terms. Here we go. I thought that was very, very interesting.
And I'm sure they're just trying to hedge against said inflation.
Yeah, definitely trying to hedge against some kind of inflation because that is crazy. A 40 or 45-year term. I mean, let me close this. What kind of interest rate are we looking at here? I mean, 45-year term. Let's see. A 45-year term on, let's just say you got a house that's $300,000. If you have a 30-year term at what is it right now? 3.9%,
Somewhere around there.
somewhere around there. If you got a 30-year term, you're already paying $420K for the house.
Something like that.
But if you were you got 45-year term, 40-year, 45-year term. I mean, so I'm not sure how they are going to manage that, man.
Oh, they're going to. Dylan said, the bank, you're never going to own your own house. Thanks for choosing us for your mortgage. That's very true. You might as well just lease it.
Maybe that'll be the new norm. Long-term lease.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leases from 5, 7 to 10 years. Maybe that'll be the new norm, man.
And you know something? That's where it's going, right? Because I think we've talked about this offline. How a lot of the builders or hedge funds are actually looking for land to build to lease, not necessarily build to sell.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Build to lease, and they kind of like what you were saying. If these are longer term leases for those people who actually who were in the market to buy or buy a home in the last couple of years, but because of the inventory being so low, they don't have any type of place to, they don't have anything to purchase. And if they do purchase it, somebody comes in and they overbid them, buy the house, and then they're left out still looking. And then and for those people who have been in the market for maybe 6 months to a year, that can be mentally draining, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where something. Let's just find a house, get this lease, and wait for the market to cool off, not knowing that inflation is just going to make everything, push the prices for everything up, and you may not be able to purchase a house for the next 5, 6 years, 5, 10 years.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. We're definitely heading that way. Dylan says, "Yeah, I am selling my lots to hedge funds, and they can pay, and they pay a premium because they plan to build. No, that's supposed to be build and hold,
Yep.
and that's the only thing I Only thing I care about, they only care about rent. And they only care
Yep.
about rent. That's true. We've actually got a couple of lots that we have under contract right now ourselves, that will be moving shortly. So, yeah, if anybody's watching this, lots of where it's at. if you don't have, if you're not moving vacant lots and you're solely focused on single family homes right now, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Don't skip over the vacant land. Adjust those prop stream settings. Keep that vacant land in there. You don't want to miss out on that. And that is all we have for the news. Dilla says, "Don't tell anyone." It's all right. It's okay. They won't listen to us anyway.
They won't.
They won't listen. They will watch this show and say, nah, I got it. But it's okay. It is all right. We know the truth. All right. Oh man. All right. So on tonight's subject.
All right, let's get into it.
All right. Tonight's subject is very, very simple. And I'm going to put it on the screen here. Oh yeah. Should your family support your dreams? Should they? Should your family support your dreams?
That's a very interesting question. It's a very interesting question. And I think you really have to kind of look at that, sit down, and kind of, mull over that question, because a lot of people believe, there are some people who believe that, yes, because you're my family and me, come up with this plan or vision or dream to do something that's bigger than me. I believe that my family should support me in that dream. Now you have to. Now then you have to. You have to really figure out what that support looks like. Are you buying merchandise, or are you buying the service, or are you telling people? Are you helping market? Are you spreading the word?
Yeah.
What does that look like? And then really have a heart to heart with yourself on whether that's really a viable option.
I find that there are really three types of people who have issues with this.
Okay.
The first one, and this is not a diss because I have been there. I'm pretty sure my man Dylan has been there. We've talked offline about this a couple times. I'm pretty sure my man Dylan has been there. The first group of people that have an issue with family not supporting them are entertainers, singers, rappers, that whole industry. I cannot tell you how many times I have sent somebody a song, asked them to buy my mixtape, or whatever. And now that I am no longer in that field, I can't tell you how many times I get sent a song or asked to purchase a mixtape. And like I said, this is not disrespect, but that's just the first category. The second category is anybody that has a product to sell. So whether that product be clothing, bracelets, candles, perfume, whatever the case may be, it is like, hey, I put this online yesterday. How come you haven't bought one already? Or I put it in my stories. How come you didn't repost my story? Dylan says you're right on the money with there being so many forms of support. I think the moment you expect your family to support, you set yourself up. That is a good point, Dylan. Yeah. The expectation is where the issue comes in. But yeah, so And so, like I said, people that sell stuff, they got a product to sell or anything like that. And the last one is exactly what we're doing. Any type of live content. I am looking at the count on the live stream right now. I know for a fact that no one watching this live stream is related to me. If you are, that would be freaking awesome. But um, I know for a fact that no one on this live stream is related to me. So I could easily get upset about there not being support, but I think there has to be a mindset shift,
Yeah.
right? If your album does not go gold, bronze, whatever, if you don't sell 500 copies, it's not because your cousin, your brother, your sister, your mom. It's not because they didn't buy one. That one is not going to make the difference.
Right.
If you sell, if you got candles for sale, you got all these candles in your house, and you're trying to figure out why they're not flying off the shelves. Well, it's not because your uncle that buys candles from Target or Bath and Body Works all the time didn't buy yours.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the reason why. And for the same way for anything else, man. If you're watching this stream tonight, we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you. But if we don't get our reviews up, it is not because
Right.
one person didn't watch. One person in my family didn't watch. I will tell you right now, the first two shows we did, nobody showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody showed up. We're talking to each other. But it is consistency, right?
Right.
It'll be more next time than it was this time. And I haven't sent the invite link to anybody in my family at all.
Neither have I.
Because I don't know where this and I'm gonna get off my soapbox in 2 seconds, but I don't know where this idea came from that, and granted, a lot of MLMs preach it too.
Mm-hmm.
This idea that the first people that should be your customers are your family.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy to me. Because I don't start a restaurant and tell my family if they go eat anywhere else, they don't believe me, they believe in me, they don't love me, they don't do anything. They just didn't want tacos tonight.
Right.
We don't need tacos every night.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And we are in the industry. Myself, you, Dylan, Marquise is in the industry as well. We're all in industries that your family might not need your service.
Right.
I pray that our family never needs our services.
Listen. They better not.
Right. Because you have the resources to avoid what we do. So right. I pray you never need our services. Dylan the same way. Dylan does exactly what we do. Dylan's in real estate. And we buy what is the proper term for it? We buy ugly houses and make them pretty, but there's an easier way to say that I just can't think of right now. But that's essentially what we do. And we don't need you supporting us in that. Mm-hmm. I don't need you on my list. If I call you, it's a problem that we have to solve.
Yeah.
If Marquise distressed, thank you, Dylan. We buy distressed properties and we make them pretty, or we give them to somebody who can make them pretty.
So we actually buy distressed properties and we help people in distressed situations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know you're doing. I like the Facebook page because you just sent it immediately and didn't even look at the page. Once I saw you post it, I want to tune in. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for the support,
100%, man. I appreciate you 100%. Man, that's such a small way of thinking. My family, my customers. But believe it or not, man, it's taught. They call it a circle of influence, right? to go out and gather those close to you to get them to buy this product that you have for sale. Now you like you want to say something. Go ahead, man. Chop in on that.
It's so many things. It's so many things. So you have to. One thing you said was, you open a business or you start a business and you expect your family to support you. Okay, your family. Uh, if you hang around your family all the time, and the saying that says you are the culmination of the 5 people that you hang around the most.
Mm-hmm.
If your family is broke and you hang around them the most, right? There's a mindset that comes with that, right?
Yeah,
You are
100%.
trying to break out of that mindset, and you have had a mind shift. Say, okay, listen, I got this side hustle, I want you all to help me build my side hustle. You know how that sounds to people who don't have the right mindset, especially an employee mindset. You've been taught all your life to follow directions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you as the business owner, solopreneur, whatever you want to call it, you as a business owner are trying to inject. Um, you are trying to inject new wine into old wineskins.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't do it. So you have to change your environment. You have to change the people you hang around, and then of course, you're going to get some flack for that because the people that grew up with you, he changing. Aren't you supposed to change?
Right.
Aren't you
Right.
supposed to change? I'm hoping 10, 5, 10, 15 years down the line that you aren't the same person either. I want to change. I want to get better, and this is an avenue that's going to help me grow. It's going to get me out of my sphere of being comfortable. It's going to help me grow. The anything, and you can't get um, oil olive and olive unless it's crushed, unless it's you can't get what you can't get the value out of the olive
Right.
if you don't crush it, right?
Right.
You can't get a pearl is so valuable because of the process,
Right.
right?
Because of the process.
Because of
Because
the
of the pressure.
process.
Yep.
The diamond,
The diamond.
coal,
Yep.
pressure. Its value because of the pressure. I am going into a pressure situation. I'm trying to get you to come with me. The mindset isn't there. But if you don't know that going into it, you're going to frustrate yourself. So it's a situation kind of like we're saying now. You really have to get around the right people to set your mindset to say, something, your family may not come with you on this. You will have to grind for the next 5, 10 years without them. Some of them may come, some of them may not come. More than likely, if you make it to that 1% who do make it, you will then have to go back and say, hey, listen, and since we're black, I can only speak of my experience. We like shiny stuff.
That's an understatement, but yeah.
We like shiny stuff. What's the brand new thing? What's we have to have the bling. We have to have the latest clothes. We have to have fashion. We have to have all that. Cars. For us, everybody in the black community is from Missouri. Show me. You have to show me your success. And if you go that route and they say, "Ooh, you're doing good," let me borrow. They're not going to say put me on. They're going to say let me borrow. Let me get $5. Let me get 10, because they did not change their mindset for 15 years ago. You grew, right?
Right.
And then you have to go back and say, I for whomever is willing, this is what I did, right? And you can too. Let me show you how. That's the best way you can help them. Everybody else is one situation where that crab mentality. If they said you changed, You left the hood, you know, you didn't come back to help. That whole crab mentality 15 years ago, if they're in that same environment, the mindset hasn't changed. Um, Sorry for that rant, but
No, you good, brother.
man,
You good, man. Dylan says, question the olive made me think of this quote. One of her quotes from Donnie Darko: "Destruction is just another form of creation."
yeah,
100%.
man.
100%. Destruction is just another form of creation. 100%. I'm going to share some of the Facebook comments that we had about this topic. Let's see here. Share screen. Chrome tab. All right. Melissa Nguyen says, support, yes. Financially, it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they should support you. I guess emotionally she means, but you should not be looking to them for gains. She doesn't want any financial support unless she's lost all her limbs.
Hold on, let's
tackle that one first.
Yeah, let's look at that one. Let's look at that one because I feel Melissa because it's some of those people who say, you know, I help you get here. Bruh, sis, you only bought one t-shirt.
Right.
And that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago, you bought one t-shirt. Yeah.
But now I'm indebted to you for the rest of my life? I don't think so.
That's funny. Malik, my boy Malik says, heck no. It's better that they don't even know the business exists. What do you think about that, man? Keeping it a secret until it blows up. Is that a strategy that you subscribe to?
It depends on the situation, especially if you have a bunch of leeches in your family. Yeah. It just depends on the situation, or it depends on your personality type. It's one of those situations where you try to keep everything close to the chest, and then if you're trying to build and come back and say one day, you know, your overnight success, because nobody's really paying attention to it. And in some families, it's really easy, right? Because communication isn't really good, and it's a situation where, you know, you're building. Oh, Daniel's never here, or Dexter's never here. Or he's always at work. He out there grinding, right? He out there making it happen. And then all of a sudden, when, you know, after those 5 6 years, then you move your family to a different house, and all of a sudden, whoa, what happened to Dexter? You know, where he, man? He over there living with them white folk.
That's what's coming. That's what's coming.
So no offense to any of our white viewers. Again, our experience is I'm black. So
that's actually a compliment to them, because typically something that's used in some parts of our community as a way to say that you found some sort of success, that you're being white, which is something that we got to kill, man. We got to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Dylan says, I kind of like it. I wouldn't keep it a secret unless they were bad families. But I personally don't tell anyone in my family what I do. If they asked, I would. If they don't, I expect nothing. Business is good. Yeah, man. I love that. I absolutely love that. Let's see what's next. Dennis says, actually, the closest people to you would never invest in you or your business, and will hustle you for a friend and family discount.
Oh, yeah, Dennis.
The people that support you the most are the ones that you don't even know and relate to your product.
Oh, yeah, Dennis. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Dennis. That's my man.
Talk to him, Dennis. Talk to him.
Dennis knows what he's talking about. And then to the business owner, you really have to find out who your audience is, who you're marketing to, right? Because if more than likely it's not your family, right? You're not marketing to your family. You have to find out what they call your avatar is. What do they like? Where are they living? What's your demographic? What are their spending habits? It's one of the, how much do they make a year?
Yeah.
You have to figure all of that out in order to be able to market to them. And does your product or service meet that need? Right? You have to find all that out. And more than likely, if you do it right, your family's not going to be involved. And Dennis is right. They're going to look for the hookup. Like, hey, hey. Again, it's that mentality, right?
Yeah. I don't agree with they would never invest. I think on the last show I told you I'm trying to get into a position like 45 was in, when he was like, well, my kid can grow up and say, yeah, my dad gave me a small loan of $1 million. I want my son or my daughter to say that. My dad gave me a small loan of $1 million to start my business.
Yeah.
So I won't necessarily agree with never, but I know exactly what he's talking about. Kia, she says it depends. I asked her, I said, depends on what? Kia says it depends on the type of family you come from. Mine don't really support me, and I'm okay with that. By the way, shout out to Kia Green. We used to work together. My homegirl, she actually has a boutique. She sells fedoras. She had a huge Black Friday. Shout out to her. I think she did 1,000 sales on Black Friday at an average of about $70 a piece. So shout out to Kia, man. Big day, big day.
Nice.
Big
Congratulations.
day. Yeah. So huge shout out to you. And there we go. My man DC said don't expect anything from anyone 100%. Christopher Poe, another old friend of mine, says they need the services I provide and I can meet the need. Sure. All right. So people have mistaken the idea that their business failed because their family wouldn't prop it up. No, your business failed because you did not make sales. Find customers, make sales, and bring money back to the clan.
That's it.
That is it right there. I don't even think we need to go any more comments.
Nope.
That is it right there.
That's it.
That's it right there. Go make the money, learn sales, learn the skills, make the sales, bring the money back to the clan. You are doing this for family, and your family should not be the reason it either fails or succeeds.
Right.
Dylan says it would be an honor to give my daughter money to jumpstart her life. If she does it right, I'll be a proud dad and will have accomplished my mission.
Yeah.
100%, brother. 100%, brother. We are coming up on our hour for the end of the show. This has been a fun topic. I'm pretty sure we'll touch on it again soon.
Yeah.
But Daniel, do you have any final thoughts you want to talk to people about, man?
No, man. I actually I don't care. The only person I believe should support my dream is my wife. And that's only after I've been consistent with the action.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
You have to first convince yourself that the dream is available, is doable, and you want it bad enough. If you want it bad enough, you'll do the actions to whatever the actions are. You'll do a little bit every day to make sure that something is done to get towards that goal, right? And most of the time, women who love you or people who love you, or they believe in you, but they believe you even more if you are doing the work first.
Yeah, 100%. You got to put the work in first, man. Sport doesn't come at the beginning. And besides, man, us entrepreneurs, creatives, that whole nine, we have a million ideas that run through our mind that we have to filter ourselves.
Yeah.
Imagine if we laid every idea we had at someone's feet and asked them to support. No, man, you got to get in there and you gotta dig deep and you got to fight first. You got to show them that this is something that you love,
Right.
and because they love you, they will support because of that. You can't just go around throwing every idea and every whim you have on people and expecting their support.
Right. And
Then it
then
says, "Go ahead."
you have to focus on that one thing, right? Whatever that one thing is,
Hmm.
get that thing up and going, get it profitable, make some money on it, and then uh, be able to say, okay, pull, be able to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. Again, this is what I'm doing. You know, you want to help. It may be an employment situation,
Right.
right? It may be a situation where you're not necessarily giving them a handout, but a hand up, which is something I hear often back in the day. So you really have to focus in, like you said, on that whatever that one thing is. Filter out those other thousand other ideas that you say you want to do, and you'll be surprised each day when you look at those goals every morning, every night. Your mind, consciously and subconsciously, finds ways to make it happen.
Yes, sir. Well, that's it for us. That's an hour for us. We appreciate you guys for tuning in,
Awesome.
continuing to rock with us. We do this every Saturday, so we will be back next week. If you have not done so already, please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, click the link in the description. Make sure you join the Facebook page to stay up to date on everything that we're doing. We got a lot coming to this channel. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.